Welcome to the Van Conen Sessions. Here, it's all things life and music. Hey guys, welcome to the Van Conen Sessions. This week, we're going to discuss
Welcome.
law enforcement with a good friend and brother, Scott McCanham, retired police officer from our big town of Peck, Michigan. And
Gigantic.
let me get him an invite, and hopefully he will join us shortly, and we can get on with the show. Scott has been gracious to lend us his time a couple times before. Unfortunately, things have changed, but it's all good. Now it's father son. I'm all right with that.
Right.
Hopefully he gets this, and usually he's obviously being a retired police officer, very punctual. And I don't know if anybody has tuned in yet, but if you're there, we appreciate you joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to throw them at us and at Scott. Hopefully, yeah, he's seen it, so he should be joining shortly.
From my end, it's showing we have 2 viewers. I don't know if that includes myself, but
All right. And I was fortunate enough to inherit a small heirloom, as my great grandfather was a police officer, a Sanilac County deputy back in the day, which I'm going to bring that up with Scott and then talk about obviously his time as a police officer. And his father was a police officer as well. We'll get
welcome
in.
in, Anthony. Thanks for stopping by, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. We appreciate it. Hopefully you will like Scott. He's a great friend and brother, retired police officer, and gracious enough to lend us his time, his ear and his time on the Van Conant sessions. Hopefully he's getting set up over there in the frigid
Oh,
north.
buddy. Yeah, it damn sure is cold. I'm getting back on the walk routine tomorrow. I got some gloves now.
Oh boy, I'm gonna need those.
Yeah, dude, because the last couple times I went for my walk, I got home and it took my hands literally about an hour to before I could like even use them properly, and I was very annoyed. I'm like, dude, this ain't
Oh, I
right.
bet.
This ain't. I've been told before that I have issues with my circulation, but
Yeah, it gets worse as you get old, man. I know I've got a carpal tunnel thing going on in my right thumb. Like the top half is always numb and tingly, and it's like, oh, that's great. That'll just
as I get older and fatter, flattered.
right. I had to post a little bit about that today. I'm like, good grief, I can't even sit up straight anymore, fatty. But
Right on, Anthony. Yeah, our guest should be on at any moment, and we are just
preparing for
discussing
takeoff.
apparently my fatness and
Yeah,
circulation
well,
issues because this has now become a health episode.
so what about father and son talking about, oh, Joe, you fat ass? Well, hey, we gotta have fun with it while we're doing it, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Can't be serious all the time.
Yeah.
Well, we can try, and that doesn't work out very well. So,
No,
yeah,
just like trying to only do one segment, laughter's best medicine, it kind of just wakes its way in throughout the segment, you know?
right. Especially depending on the guest, right? If we have
Right.
some guests are just damn funny, uh,
Facts.
for real. Troy's one of them. We'll have to get him back on one of these days from up there, over there.
Up there, over there.
So I'm not sure what we're going to get into other than I have some questions, and I'm sure you guys have some questions. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope the suspense
And I
ain't
will
killing
do
you.
my best to get those questions in without interrupting anybody, which I've found to be the hardest part. so far is not interrupting anybody and trying to get the questions
Right.
in the time frame that we're trying to shoot for.
Yep. Yep. Okay. I just double.
But it's been working out pretty good, so hopefully it'll stay good.
That's why I threw that at you. I'm like, yeah, you can have it. But we're lining them up, man. So I was talking to Danny again.
Yeah.
So the pro wrestling episode will be coming up the 22nd of February. That'll be cool.
Yeah, Danny's a cool
Um,
guy. Look forward to having him again.
he's got a lot of experience to share with that, and he wanted to talk about family and wrestling, which is cool. All things life and music. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And so in the meantime, while we wait for Scott, we have Jesse coming up. Was it okay? Looks like we have Scott chiming in. But Jesse and I, we're gonna do a podcast also with Jesse Ford again and discuss our criminal history. Unfortunately, Mr. Scott McCanham, how are you?
Good, Brad. How are you?
Great, good to see you, man.
Good to be seen.
We truly appreciate you joining. And Scott, this is my son, my oldest son, Brett.
Hey, Brett. How are you?
I'm great. Nice to officially meet you.
Yeah, good to meet
And
you.
all of you out there that are listening, we appreciate it. This is a good old friend and brother, Scott McCanham, retired police officer, another fellow from Peck. And if you don't mind, Scott, just starting out, I wanted to kind of do things chronologically about police officers, right? So, as you know, my great grandfather was a police officer back in the day in Peck.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was gifted a little heirloom piece from his wallet badge
Mm-hmm.
last year.
I love it.
Very cool. Sanilac County. He was a Sanilac County deputy there as well as that. You can't read that; it's too small. But and then a couple of his cards from being a Sanilac County deputy from
Yep.
1972 and 1984. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you, and then thought maybe we could get into a little bit about your father, also Winston. He was a police officer as well.
Yep.
How long did he serve as a police officer?
I'm not sure of when he started at PAC. That was after his military career. I think it was probably around 74, 75, somewhere in the
Okay.
mid 70s, anyways, when he became the chief of police in PAC.
Okay.
And then it was somewhere in the early 80s when he left there. So yeah, 10 years probably.
Okay. Did he police anywhere else?
After PAC, he because that's how we got when my grandfather, Les Gilbo, was my mom's dad,
Okay.
was either mayor or on the city council. That's how we ended up at PAC.
Ah, okay.
He got recruited by my grandfather to come down and be the police chief then. And then after that, to keep his certification, he did part-time in both Sandusky and Yale.
Oh, okay. So he did
Yeah.
Yale. Okay.
Yep. 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 And then
Very cool.
during that time, while he was working on his teaching degree, then he got into teaching after that, and then he actually only did that for a short period of time, and he ended up down there at L&L Products in Romeo.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got stories to tell about your dad. I was a pain in his ass. We're gonna do a podcast on that too, on some unfortunate criminal history from years ago. But it is what it
Yeah.
is, we live and learn,
Yeah.
and I truly appreciate all your service. Just like the military, because
Absolutely.
it's you put your life on the line. And so I've kind of got a few questions. I thought, if you don't mind,
Hmm.
did you attend an academy? And what age did you become a police officer?
Yeah. Before the academy, I got my Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice at Ferris State University. And
Okay.
I came out of there in 1988 when I graduated in the spring there. And then I was hired on by Bloomfield Township in August of 1988. And when I was hired on, I went directly into the Oakland Police Academy, ran out of in at the Oakland Community College campus in Auburn Hills.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I started the academy in August and graduated in December.
So, how old were you when you officially became a police officer?
22.
22.
Yeah, and when I hired on at Bloomfield, I hired on with three other guys then, and even for about I'll say it was probably 4 or 5 years, I was the youngest guy in the department. I
Oh,
was younger than all the guys that I started with, and I was just 22. So
wow.
yeah,
And so you're retired now. How long did you serve as a police officer?
31 years
31 years. Wow.
at one agency. Yep, I was there the whole time.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Um, so is your son, do you have a son that's a police officer, correct?
that's correct. Yep, he's a
That's
detective
awesome.
sergeant with Birmingham Police Department.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I know, so we got a few other questions. I think Brett's probably got a couple, and then I had a few other ones to get into if we don't get some other questions from the listeners. Uh,
sure.
Um, so one of my questions for you, you generally, how do you manage stress or maintain motivation during your longer shifts?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. Um, stress, I mean, comes in all different forms. You know what I mean? You're working double shifts or not. Thank goodness I never had to do that much in my career. But, you're getting stress from home and you're getting
Absolutely.
stress, dealing with what you're dealing with on the job and, from obviously bosses, but, that's no different than any
Right.
job, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so, yeah, I guess you gotta be strong mentally, have
Definitely.
some good, healthy habits,
yeah.
yep,
Mm,
you know,
very cool.
uh working out, that kind of thing, possibly,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Some kind of
Right.
release, you know what I mean? A hobby of some kind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Especially with the craziness today, which I think we'll get into a little bit probably. Um, so what's the most dangerous situation you've ever encountered as a police officer, you think?
Well, obviously, weapons, any type of weapons possession, uh confrontations, that type of thing. I never had, luckily, ever had to fire upon anybody, but had my weapons out, lots of times, armed
Right.
robbery cases, taking down suspects like that, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Uh, or traffic stops, traffic is always high risk, high danger too, so
Right.
I was just having this conversation the other day. I don't, it'd take me both hands probably in my career how many officers we had hit by cars, you
Wow.
Oh
know,
wow.
in winter conditions, mostly winter
Right.
conditions or directing traffic, those people don't think about that kind of stuff, especially when you conduct, patrolmen can conduct, depending on how busy your calls for service are, but, 10 traffic stops during a tour of duty, 12 traffic stops, that's out of your car on the side of the road. You know, it's lots of things to always be aware of and keep in mind.
For sure. No, you said you worked for Bloomfield Township, right?
Correct. Yep.
How big a city is that, or how big of a population did you?
Our population usually is right around in the low 40,000s.
Okay, that's big, pretty big.
Yeah, yeah, in the low 40,000s and 42, 44,000, and just under 30 square miles.
Wow. So
Oh
Yes.
that's
yeah.
big.
Yeah. Yeah. 70 sworn officers.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
pretty good sized agency.
okay. I so I had another guy that I thought he would chime in. Maybe he will eventually, but I know he had a question. Basically, his question was, how do the police each other, right?
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, you've got a lot of experience in knowing how that works.
Yep. 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 any of that kind of stuff starts with, your hiring process. And not to say that mistakes don't get made, but, um, strong individuals, intelligent individuals, if that's what he means in regards to just on the basic, on the front lines kind of thing, then and over and above that, then you get into, if something does go wrong or something, um, rules and regulations aren't followed, then you get into internal affairs and that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which
So,
is a thankless job.
oh, I bet, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine what. So, in the hiring process now, obviously, you're not just going to hire anyone as a police officer. Obviously, there's a complete background check. You got to have schooling and training.
Yep.
Um, now, do they look back quite a ways into your upbringing, say?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember them crawling all around the little village of Peck,
oh, I
asking
bet.
neighbors, and
Yeah.
and that can also be different agency to agency too, but Bloomfield was very thorough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
And most places are nowadays. I mean, they're almost obligated to be that thorough. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right. Which
Oh,
makes complete sense.
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, obviously the world's kind of upside down right now.
Sure.
Before we get into obviously the police officers getting hit, because I think we already, I asked you if we could bring that up in this
Yeah.
podcast. I don't know
Yep.
how long do you have, or do you got?
Oh, I'm probably good till like 6 o'clock.
Okay, cool. We got
Yeah,
plenty of time.
plenty
We
of time.
we
Sure.
try to keep it to around an hour, less than an hour. Obviously, people's attention spans about that long, So,
Sure.
so I wanted to run this by you, and I know a couple offhand, but I think you probably know more better than I do. So, help me name any and all of our small town friends and family who became police officers from Peck.
Oh boy. Um, I know a little bit older than me was Brian Mahaffey.
Okay,
Uh, Retired. He did a career, started his career down in Texas, ended his career down the city of St. Clair. And then from my age down, I know extremely well. You would have had with me Michael Davidson, in local law enforcement, then um, with airport security over on the west side of the state at Grand Rapids Airport. A year younger than me, Patty Henshaw. I'm not sure if she's retired yet, but she was a U.S. Marshal.
oh wow, okay,
Yeah, Doug Custrow out of the class of '86. Um, Retire as a detective sergeant up at Gaylord PD.
okay.
Um,
I know there's some Abrigos. I had posted in Peck.
yep, yep. Jamie just retired, and then I think his two twin boys, I
Yeah,
believe, are current. One of them is with one of the Michigan State agencies. Either I don't know if he's with Motor Carrier or with the state police proper, and then
okay.
I think the other, the last I knew was with the San Luis County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I had seen well, this was I think a couple of years ago. There was a post in a newspaper. I put it on the Peck site.
Okay.
That was pretty
Yep.
cool. It was him and his two boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good. Yep.
Um, Now just
Yeah, they're
recent.
cool guys. I've met them.
Yeah. Cody and maybe, and I can't think of their names. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember their first names either. Yeah.
So just recently, I'm realizing I believe my cousin Jason is a police
Oh,
officer.
oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Jason's a lieutenant with the Central Michigan University Police Department.
Okay.
Um, that's his second stop. I think his first agency, he was with the tribal police out of Mount Pleasant, but he's
Okay.
now with CMU Police Department. That's correct.
Okay. Because I've seen in a post, obviously, and then he married Vicky, and then they have a son named Bradley, which I
That's
was like,
correct.
huh, cool name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I never realized, like I said, till recently. Do you know how long Jason has been a police officer?
Oof. Oh, he's got to have close to 25 years, I'll bet.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I never,
Yep.
I never knew.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we never really kept in touch or
Yep.
talked much, but
Yep. Yep. I know when he came out of the military, It had to be in the early 2000s when he started his
Okay,
law enforcement career. So somewhere right, he's got to be getting close to 25 years of service. Yep.
cool. Yeah, I'm trying to, I figured you would know more than I would, and I also think I'm pretty sure you remember the Beers boys. Uh,
Yep.
I
Matter
think,
of fact, yep. Stephen Beers
yep.
is, I recently ran into him.
He's a state patrol, isn't he?
No,
No?
Stephen Beers is a captain or a major with Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department.
Oh, okay. Somehow I thought he
Yep.
was a state police
Yep. He's
officer.
an administrator with them. Yep. Yep. I
Okay.
think he's a captain. So I could be
Okay.
wrong, but a
We
captain or
have
a
a
major.
we
Okay.
have a question from Patrick Efron.
There we go.
Mhm.
He says Brad asked about the dangers, but what are the positive experiences that encouraged him to overcome the stress of the job?
Oh, I mean, a lot of it is the satisfaction of, both helping people just on a day-to-day basis. And when you do, you know, take some of these evil people off the street, you know what I mean? There's great satisfaction in that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a great question.
And taking little vermin like me off the street. Uh,
I think in the grand scope of things, you were pretty small potatoes, Brad.
right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
if you don't mind, I wanted to get your input on obviously the this little incident with the lady, unfortunate death of this lady with ice.
yeah.
Um, obviously, I back to blue. Always will. Obviously, you do, and I think my son does. Probably most
Yep.
of our listeners do. And that was an unfortunate thing. But what do you think? What's your take on that? With
Well, I mean, there's well, whenever I get into a discussion about it, um, I'm none of us have seen any kind of full investigation. We don't know what was being said, and what took place. But what I do know is that, there's in that case, and I say it with every one of those kinds of cases, there's actually two victims. Obviously she lost her life, and that's horrific. Um, but I'll guarantee you that officer did not get up in the morning hoping and wishing that he was going to have to take somebody's life, and now he has to live with that for the rest of his. So
Absolutely.
um,
I can't imagine it. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And so that's just the basic emotions about that incident. And so then after that, you're gonna, get into what was being said, what was, her actions, his actions, and, the totality of the circumstances. It's just not what everybody wants to believe on the
Right.
surface of what they see or what they believe politically,
Right.
so
Right.
yeah.
All of a sudden now it's the person behind the gun and it's not the gun. Huh.
Right. Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And
Anthony, oh, sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead, Brad. No, that's okay.
No, Anthony said FAFO, she was stalking them, blocking them, etc.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
I mean,
gonna
yeah.
say, yeah, the
Um,
video obviously she was just laying on the horn, getting in their way,
Yeah.
going all over. I mean, good
right.
Lord, shut that
Yeah.
horn off. I'd have had to punch you out, man.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
well, that's the other thing that, facts in that case that really can't be disputed is that any actions or things that took place once she inserted herself into that situation, she put all of that into motion.
right,
Right.
You know what I mean? They were there doing their job, whether you want to believe in what they're doing or not. That's not for you to decide
right.
in that manner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's why we have the justice system. Listen, I've been in position myself more than once, and
Yeah,
you give yourself up. We have a court of law. You may not like the circumstances now,
exactly.
but you're going to have your chance in court, and you can prove whether you were right or wrong or whatever was
Yeah,
happening. I mean, it's much better than obviously death or serious injuries because you're
absolutely.
being stupid.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So That's my
Yeah.
take on it. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
Yep,
unfortunate
and I
that someone
agree.
had to die, but
Yeah,
Very.
it is very unfortunate.
and it happens a lot more than we'd like it to.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So I'm trying to think of any other. Oh, well, we also had, yeah, Woodruff, obviously,
Oh,
police
yep.
officer Dick Woodruff passed
Yep.
away. And then his
Yep.
son, what was his
Matt,
son? Matt.
M-
Okay. Yep.
Matt, Matt got into, he was like a federal agent. I don't know where he's at in his career, but
Okay.
it was like an agent for federal housing or something along those lines. I don't exactly remember what that entailed, but you are indeed correct. Yeah.
So, and also they have another son that passed away, right?
Yeah, Danny,
Danny.
Danny,
Right.
who actually was serving,
Yeah.
he was like an animal control officer for the city of Port Huron.
Oh, is that what he did? Okay.
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
very
Um,
unfortunate. Geez, he was only
Yeah,
about late
he was
40s and he had a heart
he
attack.
was yeah, he was a young man. That's a fact. Yep.
Sad.
another question from Patrick. He says, on the lighter side, what's your most wonky, funny experience on the job?
Oh, jeez. After 31 years, you know what I mean, and I've been retired
Probably
for
got a list.
yeah, yeah. I can't. There's I that I'd have to go through a laundry list of things. You know what I mean?
That kind of goes with my question. I was going to ask your most unusual
Yeah,
uh call or encounter. So
yeah.
that kind of goes with that too, but
Well, that goes with like I could talk about all day long. That's almost one of the ways to deal with stress. You know what I mean?
Right.
Law enforcement officers. Where if a common civilian was in one of our roll calls after some kind of weird incident, you know what I mean? Law enforcement officers, macabre sense of humor can, if you're not used to it, can be a little bit, you'd be like, what? That isn't funny, but that's how we deal with something, you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So, um, I, I had a lot of incidents of things like that, you know what I mean? That are horrible on the surface, you know what I mean? But, within 24, 48 hours, you got to make fun of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who's,
Right.
some,
Right.
victim's head placed in a certain way that's been decapitated or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just
Geez.
bizarre to think about, but, cops do have to deal with the stress of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
What would if you can recall, obviously like pulling somebody over for speeding, what's some of the stupidest excuses you've ever had, do you think?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Or for
You, anything you see on Facebook or something you can think about is almost probably true. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you this story. This happened to us yesterday. We're driving around, and I call it dumb dashing with DoorDash to try and make our way through. If we don't have no other work.
Sure.
And so we're driving a Jeep Patriot. So you sit low in this thing, right? I can't sit up any higher. My head would be out the roof, and so
Right.
it's kind of hard to see over the curves, right? So or the other day, we're pulling into this. I'm just driving, turning, going to a delivery, and I pull in, and they have this median in the center, right? Two lanes. Totally didn't see this median, man. Bam, up over this thing, flying out. Look, we must have looked like Muppets flying around, and some ladies coming. If the cops had been there, they'd have pulled me over for sure because it looked
Right.
like I was a drunken idiot.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
laughing. Of course, I'm worried about just wrecking the damn Jeep because I hit it hard. I didn't even see it.
Right.
And
Right.
it was just funny. And then the lady coming at us must have thought, "Good Lord, what's wrong? You got it drinking too much over there? What's going on?" But it was funny. Got to
Yeah.
lighten things up,
Yep. Yep. That's right. That's right.
because yeah, if it's not funny, sometimes that's all you can do is laugh to keep your sanity.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so and on my great grandfather's note, I think he was a deputy sheriff for like 16 years or so.
Yeah. I
Uh,
remember being at my grandma and grandpa's down on Mill Street, and we knew, like when we were riding our bikes around, we knew that he was
Right.
the town cop. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
right on. That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
And actually, I think he was good friends with my grandpa Gilbo. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
so I think he pulled in the driveway more than on one occasion. If grandpa was out mowing lawn or something and he saw that, he would pull in, and then we were all rattled up, that the cop was
That's
cl-
funny.
cop was close by. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember your grandpa.
Yeah, well, he was everything in Pac-Man. He was a bus
Yeah.
driver. He worked for the city and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
knew him. Yeah.
Because I think did he live down south on Mill Street?
He actually, well, no, he lived in that. Well, he lived on what is it, Rebecca Street. If you
Okay.
remember the old
He-
water tower, he had a trailer in front of that.
Okay. All right.
And then
Yep.
he also had that white stone house that's McCanham's now, I think it's McCanham's own it still now. The one across from the funeral
Oh,
home.
yes, yes, yes. That's right. Right across from where the Krauses grew up.
Yeah, so
Yep. Yep.
I just posted a picture there with the whole family in front of that or
That's
on
right.
the side of
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Yeah. That was my Uncle George and Aunt Harlene's
Yep.
house.
Okay.
And now one of their daughters owns it that actually lives in um, um, the home right behind the funeral home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was Dow Hill's house.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
Dow Hill was the caretaker of the funeral home. So Stacy and Nate lived in there, and then they bought uh, the home that you speak of.
Oh, right on. I
Yeah.
guess that nothing to do with policing now, but I guess that funeral home they don't use that anymore, or they rent it out, or somebody they live in there, rent it out or something.
Oh yeah, I don't know. They don't use it
I
anymore as a
think I
funeral home.
think that the actual funeral home is empty, but the house that's across the street that kind of looks like it has something to do with it. It's like the same brick layout
Yep.
and everything. Someone lives there. I know that.
Yeah. 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 I think if they do anything in Pack, it's at the funeral home wise. It's at that Harvest Hall behind the
Oh, right.
Catholic Church.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
yep, yep, yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately, we've had some Bowers. They had passed away recent years,
Hmm.
and yeah. So yeah, don't can't think of any other people that maybe of police officers or in the law at all in Peck.
I'm sure we're missing
You
somebody.
probably, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody's gonna be knocking down my door. Hey, man, you didn't mention me.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. And I feel like I've missed some thinking about it, but I'm sure in an hour it'll come back to me. I'll be driving
Right.
down the road and it'll
All
pop in my
right.
head.
That's
Yeah.
usually when it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. But because actually it's quite a number of people that have done law enforcement, coming from that small village of Peck.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that and all the people we know and how, I mean, your sister's here in Georgia.
Yep.
Um, all the people we've known and things they've done in their lives, how there's a lot of stuff come out of that little town,
Yeah, that's
pretty
exactly
neat.
right. Yeah. Yep.
Pretty neat. Because how big was your graduating class? Did you graduate in Peck? Yeah.
44.
Oh, wow. So ours was 42, so about the same.
Yep.
What year did
Uh,
you graduate?
84.
84. Okay.
No, yeah, yeah, 84.
84.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Losing track here.
Isn't
Yeah.
it crazy? Yeah. So I was 8 years
Yeah.
after you, 92. It's like, wow, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 92, were you with Jason and my
Yep.
sister?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, well, it's in our spot in Michigan, but I still have the shirt. I cut it, the front off. Crazy Days 92 with all of our signatures on it.
Yeah, I've seen that shirt.
So
Yeah.
I still have it framed. I have the front and the back framed. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty spotted up and nasty, but I hadn't managed to keep it, and then I just cut it and framed it, and so they're side by side behind me when I do the podcast in Michigan.
Yeah.
Pretty
Gotcha.
cool.
We have another question from Anthony. He would like to know, did you have a K9 while patrolling?
I never did. Nope, I never. That was one of I retired as the chief in 2019, and that's one of the maybe things I never did, four maybe at our entire department. But we have at Bloomfield Township, we had canines and we had we have one of the longest running canine programs in the state of Michigan. Our canine program started back in I think it was the late 60s.
Oh, wow.
So I was around them a lot, but
Okay.
I never did have one.
Gotcha.
I never, that's a, that's another level of dedication.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a dog trainer on here, so that's yeah, that is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Do they strictly use
Oh,
work?
sorry.
Do they strictly work with German Shepherds or
Yeah.
yeah?
Um,
Okay.
our, our, brands came from Belgium, the Malinois line of
Okay.
German Shepherds.
Wow.
And then we dealt with, and I don't know if they still are or not, but then a guy that exported them out of oh, it's north of Dayton, Ohio, but right off of 75. But that's the kennel we did all of our
Mhm.
business with in
Oh,
Ohio. Yep.
cool. Cool.
Um, Another question from Patrick. He says, "How do officers feel about derogatory terms, and what would be the best way to show appreciation to local officers?"
Well, I think it gets back to the old, I'm not sure about the derogatory terms, probably meaning like pig and fuzz and stuff like
Probably,
that, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah.
probably.
But I mean, give respect and you're going to get respect back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, even as a retiree, if I, God forbid, have a contact with, I mean, until they get to know me, it's sir and ma'am. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Is until things become maybe a little less formal, then maybe you can go.
Right.
And I still I work semi, or not actually semi, I work in the field still. I sell uniforms and body armor to, police departments all across the state of Michigan, and even when I'm in
Cool.
those agencies and they're customers of mine, it's sir and ma'am then until,
Absolutely.
it becomes, less formal.
Oh, very
So,
cool. So, do you work for a company that makes the clothing, or is that
yeah,
okay?
yep, yep, yep.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, we deal with a couple different uniform companies, but the body armor I sell is a brand called Armor Express that was started in the state of Michigan, and we still have our laboratory and R&D facility up in Central Lake near Bel Air.
Okay.
And but just in the last like 3 years, the manufacturing aspect of it left Michigan and is in Eden, North Carolina now.
Oh, wow.
That's the only brand of body armor that we sell.
So
So,
and speaking of body armor, I never even thought about asking about that, but since you brought it up, is there what's the word I'm looking for? Obviously, you have certain specs that they have to go by.
yeah,
Um, I'm guessing your chest armor is going to have to have some type of stipulation as far as what it can withstand.
yep, yep.
What the specs? What would be the specs on something like that?
Well, all of those specs are based and set by what's called NIJ, which is the National Institute of Justice. And
Okay.
so all of those, any specs for any kind of, depending on the level of body armor that you're talking, like level 2 or level 3A or and above, is all based on what's called back face deformation. So when they test that body armor, when they set whatever that minimum, let's say it's the back face deformation, and this isn't true, so don't hold me to this. I'm just going to use simple math. Let's
Okay.
just say they say for level 2 body armor, which is basically all handguns, that the back face deformation cannot exceed 1 inch. In other words, when a round hits that body armor, it can't cave in or back face deform it more than 1 inch. So
Oh,
they'll
okay.
test that with strapping whatever company wants to have their body armor tested before it gets certified onto like a clay model.
Oh, okay. Right.
Then they shoot that with whatever handguns or all different rounds, and then they take the body panel off, the body armor panel off, shave that clay down straight, and then they'll measure in that clay how far that round went into the clay.
Oh, okay.
And
That's very cool.
that's how they set those standards. And they're not set by the companies. they're set by the National Institute of Justice.
So that's a uniform thing across the country then, as far as
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so what I'll say to that is that's for companies that are NIJ certified. You can buy some stuff off, the internet, whatever, who knows what.
right.
I would seriously doubt if it's NIJ
Oh,
certified. But
right. Black
all
market
law
stuff.
enforcement, all law enforcement are going to wear NIJ certified vests,
Gotcha.
whether it's our company or some other company. That's, liability and insurance is going to dictate that.
Oh, for sure. What would it cost on something be like on something like the armored vest be on?
Oh, you can, if you were to get, depending on the model, so you can get good, better, best.
Okay.
Good is going to be thicker and heavier, and then better is going to be lighter, thinner. The best is going to be the lightest and thinnest that a company makes.
Okay.
And then depending on what level two, all handguns, level 3A, you're going to pick up shotgun slugs, maybe in some small
Wow.
rifle rounds, you know what I mean? So, just all depends. So you can get anywhere between for a set of panels, basic stuff, $500 to
Right.
$1,500.
Wow.
And then you can go from there. Do you want to put it on? Do you want to put that body armor in a tactical vest? You know what I mean? And then
Right.
that's more money, so yeah,
Right.
it can get expensive.
Well, when it comes to your life, I guess it's worth it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
So,
exactly the point. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
another question from Patrick. Is the urban myth of quota numbers, especially at the end of the month, true?
Uh-oh.
That's a good question,
That's a
right?
great question. Yeah. Well, I can't talk for what other agencies do, but I can probably assume what they're going to be. No agency would call things like that a quota. But we're going to have things called performance standards and activity logs that need to have certain numbers in them. So,
Okay.
um,
Fair enough.
yeah,
In other
we
words, making sure you're doing your job while you're out
that
driving.
yeah,
Right.
I never wanted my officers driving around burning gas all day.
Right.
Yeah,
Doing
there's
standing
plenty of
around.
things to do. So, um,
Right.
yeah, and so uh, I mean, there was things that we required our officers to do, and so that would be one of
Okay.
them.
What's your standard shifts? I mean, as an officer, I mean, is it a typical 8 hour?
Mm,
No, 10,
uh,
12.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I did. Well, it's all gets based on, how big of an agency you have and what you're providing for coverage in that 24-hour period of time. So obviously we're a full service police department, 24 hours of coverage, 365, minimum staffing requirements. And so I did my whole patrol career working 8-hour shifts, days, afternoons, and midnights. Um, I know now they run 12-hour shifts, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I never did 12s. Now, when I moved, when I was in the detective bureau and then I went into administration, I worked 10s. So
Okay.
Monday through Thursday, we weren't open on Friday. Administration
Right.
wasn't open on. I mean, obviously, patrol was out
Right.
there still. So, but it runs across the board. You don't see many, I don't think, 8-hour shifts out there anymore.
Right.
It's 10s and 12s.
So
So
is there a obviously like I would think similar to truck driving, is there like a limit on how many hours you can put in a week as an officer? Obviously, when you get overworked, you're gonna
yeah,
make bad decisions type of thing.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of studies out there for that. 12 is getting close to maxing it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when you work 12 hours, the most they work in a stretch is three in a row, three
Okay.
days in a row. Yeah. Friday,
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday would be the biggest stretch of 3 days of
Okay.
12-hour shifts. So that's 36 hours, in
Right.
a 72-hour period of time. So
Right.
yeah. And then then obviously days off come. So I don't know I think our max on that 12 was if God forbid something were to happen, we would only allow them to go 4 more hours after that, I think.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
yeah.
how long? Go ahead.
Then the thing with that was we would give our supervisors the leeway to, if you're only going to be off for 12, now you work at 4 hours of overtime. You only got 8 more hours to catch up sleep and be back into work if
Right.
they got to come back to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're in the middle of one of those sequences of 3 days or 2 days. So, um, maybe you tell them, hey, show up 2 hours late, get some sleep, get a good solid 8, 9 hours sleep. So
Right.
that's
So I
or
was,
maybe you notice that as a supervisor, maybe then in that next shift you get them out early, send them home,
oh,
you
right.
know.
Right.
So
So I was going to ask you on the canine note, did your dad ever work with canine units at all?
yeah, we had a dog, but it was never it was a German Shepherd. You probably don't remember that that was around, and he was an amazing dog,
Really?
but he trained with like the Sanilac County Sheriff's Department canines a few times. I
Okay.
remember them being at the house and things like that, but he was never certified. I
Okay.
mean that
Gotcha.
canine trainer or the canine training certification is that's rigorous.
Yeah.
That's a long process for a dog and a handler to go through together.
Right.
I think 10 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And,
But he had a dog that rode around with him a lot. It was I knew it as our family German Shepherd, but
okay.
he, he was good in that patrol car.
Wow.
He protected that thing like it was his own car.
Right,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? He
Oh,
was,
I can imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know, God forbid he would have done something to somebody. I don't know what the liability would have been. You know what I
Right.
mean? 'Cause
Right.
Yeah.
small town police work. So
Well, I can't imagine some of the stuff, you had to deal with, even in pulling someone over, like you said,
yeah.
some of the stuff you've dealt with, boy, it had to be high tension, man. You don't
Oh
know what
yeah.
you're getting into,
Yeah. Yeah.
hand on the gun, ready to draw type of situations,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or have it drawn,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. And any of that, you get into any of those, you break leather, that's stressful situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once it de-escalates, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got to get your heart rate down and
Right. Yeah.
your mind right again. You know what I mean? Because just as quick as that might happen, you got to go, get a cat out of a tree. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Right.
something
That
like
kind of
that.
leads me what I was gonna ask. Did you have any specific techniques for de-escalation, or did kind of just as it goes type thing?
Yeah, but I never had anything like that. I mean, nowadays, I'm not going to say like on during a shift that you have maybe anything like that, but you know, law enforcement's gotten a lot better and in debriefings and post-traumatic incidents, you know what I mean, with um, counseling and breakdowns, that type of thing. So back in the day, that kind of stuff was almost non-existent, but it's way better nowadays that way.
How, to your knowledge, as far as training goes, the physical training aspect of being a police officer, has it changed much over since you
Mm,
began, or
no, not since I began. No,
okay.
I don't think so.
Is it pretty
It,
rigorous training? I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely it
yeah,
is. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah. And it probably has changed a little bit more in regards to I don't know. I'd have to go think about October, November 12, 16. I probably did 20 weeks in the academy. I think the academy is up to like 26 weeks now.
okay. So
So
six
it
months,
is a little
basically.
bit more, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think they're, for the most part, defensive tactics and training are pretty much still the same.
Okay.
So,
We
Um,
have
yeah.
there's a training facility around for Columbia County, Georgia, not far from us. It's right nestled in with the detention center and everything, and
Hmm.
well, I guess they get the practice on the inmates.
Yeah.
Uh,
um, we got another one from Patrick. He says, "How do you deal with the job/family separation and keep it separate?"
Um, well, it's I was divorced, and there obviously is a high divorce rate in law enforcement, and so I guess in a nutshell, some people not very good. You know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Right.
yeah. But yeah, it's tough to do, you know what I mean? Especially if you get involved in something high stress and traumatic, you know what I mean? It's tough to
Right.
not have it on your mind and bring it home, but
Right.
we were good at Bloomfield. It was our motto always was administratively, family first. Get your head right, um,
Right.
and we'll provide that whatever professional assistance you need to do that. But because if your head's not right, then that's a liability for us out there having you do the job. So
Right.
um,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
family first. We always
Yeah.
preached that.
I can only imagine the stress bringing some of that stuff home with you, and
Yeah,
because what are you going to do? It's going to be there on your mind.
yeah. It's hard to put it away in the attic, so to speak.
Right.
So, and some people can do it better than others. That's just the human
Right.
nature. So,
Yep. Definitely.
yeah,
I don't know. That's like EMT stuff. I don't know. That's something I couldn't do. But well, you'd
yeah,
have to, as a first responder, though, you have to deal
sure,
with all that stuff.
yeah, yep, yep.
I see a lot, and I think I've only realized in recent years, it's like fire trucks going to this place. It's always first responder. Doesn't necessarily mean it's an ambulance.
That's
It's
right.
whoever's closest, they're
Yeah,
trained in first response. So,
yeah, yeah. Which that way, like I think of it all the time up here in rural Sanilac County for the most part, where they the law enforcement guys are probably the first ones on the scene in a lot of situations
yep,
where I did my career, our fire rigs were paramedics.
yep,
They were
Okay.
full operational that way. You know what I mean? Now, most times we could beat them there. You know what I mean? But they were right behind us. They had four stations, and
right,
we were lucky that way, where I didn't have to deal with that kind of thing hardly at all in my career because they're trained right up. You know what I mean? Where here, they're waiting for like maybe a volunteer fire department here. Nobody in San Lake County, I don't think, is full-time firemen, or EMS will be on scene before them, ambulances.
right.
So, yeah, correct.
That is just one thing I couldn't deal with. It, obviously terrible accidents, people maimed, and
Hmm.
that type of stuff. That
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. So thank God for
yeah,
people like you
yeah,
and the
yep.
EMTs and stuff. Listen, we're pushing on six, Scott.
Okay,
If
yeah,
I, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add to it, we truly appreciate your time and your service.
Absolutely.
no, I love what
Yes.
you guys are doing, and I wish you the best of luck. And anytime, we can make this happen, or you load up with more questions after we get off here, that kind of thing. I'm more than willing to anytime. Yeah, I enjoy this back and forth. That's good stuff.
Well, very cool. Yeah. So we definitely, and obviously we're hoping to grow this thing, and as we grow, maybe we'll have you back on and actually have more than two viewers. It'd be great.
Yeah,
You
yeah, no
know,
worries.
but
Yeah, good luck to you guys.
We
Nice
had
meeting you,
some
Brett.
good questions too.
yeah,
Yes, it was awesome
Yeah,
meeting you,
Patrick.
and thank you again for your service and for being on here with us.
Absolutely.
yeah,
I appreciate it.
we'll be in touch,
No
Scott, and we
problem.
appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Brad. Take
Yeah,
care. Good luck, you guys.
you too. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Mhm. Bye.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Scott's top notch, man. He's a great guy, good friend and brother.
Yeah,
Full of
I'd seen your
experience.
guys' interview when it was you and Rich, but to finally get to meet him and ask
Yeah,
him some questions myself, that was cool.
yeah. We actually had people. Well, this time we've actually had listeners. So, and we appreciate all you guys that are chiming in and asking questions and helping us grow. Ultimately, is what you're doing. We appreciate that.
Absolutely, guys.
Um,
And by the way, I didn't get to call it out because I didn't want to interrupt, but Anthony said that he's seen we didn't have very many subscribers. He's gonna share it out for us as well. So that's appreciated.
yeah, very much
Um,
appreciate that.
and Pat says thanks. You are welcome, Pat. Thank you for the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we're trying to, we went. uh, I was mistaken in thinking you had to have 50 subscribers to go live on YouTube, but in further research, I found that that's only on your phone for whatever reason. Going from your
Right.
PC, you don't have to. And so we're going to see where this goes. I mean, maybe we'll go back and forth. Unfortunately, we can't go live on both platforms at the same time because I would.
Right.
But we'll see what happens. Listen, if whatever gets us more subscribers is where we're going to go. So, and it seems like Facebook has kind of been putting the boot on the neck for whatever reason.
Right.
I don't know what it is. It just seems like they want you to do everything exactly the way they want it done. And I ain't got time to sit on my phone 24/7. So,
Well, I feel like one of the downsides too with this whole everybody is a content creator thing is
right,
it throws a lot more wrenches out there for the people who are genuinely trying to make something out of it. You know, they're throwing all these
right,
guidelines and all these rules because everybody wants to do it. So now they got to make it, more of I'm
right,
seeing people left and right losing they're taking away their rights to follow people and
right,
shit like that. And it's like, man, that's so annoying, dude. You want people to grow
right.
and then you're taking yeah. Facebook is an aim in the pass.
Yeah, I've had instances where when I posted that stupid thing, so I'm really cautious about even what I post on. Unfortunately, it's kind of like
Yeah,
free speech has got to, and I ain't trying to be vulgar and nasty, but sometimes you listen, man, it's funny, okay? If you want to put a plastic bag
for
over your head and
real.
suffocate yourself, you're an idiot. I mean,
Yeah.
but oh, it hurt somebody's feelings, good grief, get over it. But I'm a God-fearing
Good
man.
grief, Charlie Brown.
It doesn't matter. We can be funny and serious all in the same breath. It's all good. Some
No, we
people
really
just get
can though.
some people just get so irate and just settle down. It was like, well, like myself, I did that one post and that Brian Johnson guy says, "Gee, breathe."
Oh yeah, yeah,
So of
Brian.
course that
He's
was funny. I'm like, yeah, then
I
I thought
am just heavy,
I
very
thought about
heavily.
it. I thought about it later. I said, you know what? Actually, I'm breathing good, just like Mel Gibson did with his daughter on the phone. Remember that conversation?
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
holy shit.
he's and you don't care or
Yeah,
whatever,
he was a little upset
a
in
little
that
bit,
phone call.
So,
There may or may not have been some racial slurs
right,
thrown out.
a little bit here and there. So, well, guys, listen, man, we've put in our hour this week. We truly appreciate everybody joining us once again. One last time,
Absolutely.
for those that didn't see, I just wanted to show that that was my great grandfather's Sanilac County deputy badge for his wallet. Very cool heirloom. I inherited a wallet with a bunch of ID and stuff and no money. Dang it. Well,
Man.
anyways, we truly appreciate everybody joining. And
Yes, guys.
next week, so I keep posting, but listen, next week we're going to do Pure Michigan history with Brandon Allen Starr. Looking forward to that.
Yes, yes.
Gonna be very cool. And since I'm doing this, we might as well run it down. So we have next week Brandon Allen Starr on Pure Michigan history. The following week on February 1st, we're going to have Tyler Ruski on again, the vocalist, to discuss his top vocalists, and then we'll do our top guitarist in that one. February 8th, we're going to have another fellow Peck friend, Becky Philby. She was Becky Sinka uh, before she was married. She's traveling and doing videos and some really cool stuff, so we're going to bring her on and talk about travel. And then, as I stated earlier about Jesse Ford, we're going to have him back on. We're going to discuss our criminal history. And then the 22nd, we're going to have another good friend on, Danny Beals, to discuss professional wrestling and family. So looking forward to it. We're going to keep lining them up. Still waiting to hear back from Glenn Brook, but she did
Yeah,
say she wants to be on, and I believe she will. It's just going to be a
right.
matter of we may even have to do a different day. Hopefully, we can schedule around hers because she's busy traveling. Whatever it takes, we will do it. So within our
Yeah, for
means,
sure.
So
If it's not a Sunday that it's got to be on, we'll make it happen.
well, obviously, we want to do more than just Sundays eventually, anyways. But as soon as we can, we will. So
Right.
with all that said, guys, thanks again, and we're gonna shut this one down. We will see you again next week on the Van Conant Sessions. Peace from Grovetown, Georgia.
He's from Peck, Michigan.